Good afternoon, guys. It is a beautiful 55-degree afternoon here in West Virginia. And as you can see behind me, I'm very nearly done with my tree work. I've been working on this for almost a month now and I'm nearly there. So I got a lot in store for today, guys. Hang out. We'll get rolling. What I'm doing right now is I'm taking all the wood that I've cut up over that way and I'm moving it right over here under shelter. I have plans for it come spring, so I don't want to leave it out in the open weather and let it get all nasty. Alright, so at this point I've been finishing up on the tree that I've been working on for probably the last month now. As you can see behind me, I'm basically done. I've cut up pretty much everything that can be cut up easily at this point. All that I got left is to rake up the limbs, rake up the leaves, get the general yard over here nice and clean looking. After that, what I'm going to be working on is cleaning a 10-foot area around my burn pile, because in the state of West Virginia they expect us to have a 10-foot space cleared all around any piles you're going to burn, just so that we don't accidentally set the state on fire. Because for anybody who's not already aware, West Virginia is basically all forest and woods. So I love my home state. I came back here for a reason. I don't want to be that guy that burns his home state down. I really don't want to be infamous for something like that. I don't want people to walk by me and go, hey, there's the West Virginia arson. So I got a lot of work left ahead of me, but at this point, I feel like I'm in a good place. So I'm just going to continue working on cleaning these leaves up, because next weekend, depending on the weather and how I feel, if I can get the area nice and clean, I will go ahead and rebuild the ramp on my shed, which I've been putting off for over a month now. I know it's in the middle of winter, but come spring, I'm going to need a lawnmower, and the ramp on my shed was all rotted. The previous owner really didn't take care of the property all that well. So what I'm going to have to do is rebuild that ramp so that I can get a lawnmower up in there. But anywho, guys, stick around for a little bit longer. I'm going to get a little bit of raking done, and then we'll sit down and talk. Where'd my rake go? Alright, guys. I have finished up my work for today, and I am ready to just crash. My entire body's sore. I did a lot of heavy lifting, is what you guys saw. That wood gets very heavy after a few minutes. I made a lot of progress. I'm very happy with the progress I've made. Now I just got to finish cleaning up the leaves and everything back there. But my next main priority is going to be to reduce my burn pile and go from there. Now, as for what I've had going on in the last week, it's not been too busy of a week for me. Been very, very calm and relaxed. I was very happy to see the weather finally clear up. That's always a good thing. Like, I lived in Phoenix for 20 years, and I've told you guys this multiple times, and you get used to sunlight constantly. And I will tell you, it's definitely been very jarring moving out here and having, it was almost 2 weeks between like true sunny days. And I thought that was just crazy. But the weather finally cleared up, and we're going to have about a week of okay weather before it really starts to get into the heart of winter. So I'm glad I was able to get one of my trees cleaned up. I've still got one more to do, but it's not in an overly inconvenient place for me, so that's something that can wait a little bit longer to be dealt with. My next priority will be, like I said, clearing up the area to get ready for a burn pile and rebuilding the ramp on my shed. Now, as for what's been going on this week, I do want to share with you guys two things. One, I have a funny story, and then two, I have a story that's going to kind of anger us. Well, it angered me. I'm still kind of mad almost a week later. As for the funny story, so last night I was sitting on my computer playing some video games, and right next to me I have an acoustic guitar, or at least I had an acoustic guitar. And I've been trying to learn how to play acoustic guitar for, I don't know, like 3 or 4 months now. Not having too much success, but honestly, I'm not putting a ton of time into it right now. And so my dog was laying at my feet, and I didn't have my guitar braced against the wall properly. It was just leaning right there. It's terrible for anything that's wood based. And it goes sliding right on down, and Dum Dum laying right next to it hears the sliding and then the ultimate thump of the guitar. He jumps. I swear he was a cat for a split second. So I thought that was funny. Now, as for what angered me, so as any homeowner knows, you have to pay property taxes. That was something I understood going into the purchase of this house, so it's nothing that really caught me off guard for the most part. Now, however, I got a letter in the mail from the Jackson County Sheriff, and it reads as follows: Dear taxpayer, please find enclosed a printout. Wow, these guys don't even know how to write a letter right. Please find enclosed a printout of taxes due on the property you recently acquired. As of the date this letter was mailed, those taxes, or half of them, remain unpaid. Our office has encountered numerous situations in which the new owners of a property are unaware of unpaid real estate taxes. Therefore, we periodically review the records of new purchases and send courtesy notices of unpaid real estate taxes to all new property owners. The land books cannot be changed unless a deed has been recorded before July 1st of the preceding year. Therefore, the previous owner's name will be on the tax statement. The responsibility of payment is determined between the previous and new owners normally during a closing. As a new owner, it is in your best interest to research this matter as soon as possible. The tax amounts increase monthly, and advertising fees are added after the taxes become delinquent on April 30th. Now, it also says our records have indicated the following status of the taxes due on your property. Current year 2019 taxes due. First half taxes were paid on 11/4/19. Second half taxes are still due. Now, here's where I'm annoyed. I have just had to pay the full year of property taxes essentially. I only moved into this house on November 1st. And it looks like instead of my payment going towards the taxes that would be owed for the back half, which I knew I was going to have to pay those, instead I have to pay the previous owner's first 6 months of taxes in this house. Needless to say, I am very upset about this. I'm encountering unexpected cost after unexpected cost of this house. In all honesty, I have found more wrong with this house than what was actually initially picked up by the inspector. It is very clear to me that the previous homeowner did not actually take good care of this house. Just as kind of an example, I was told that my roof was good for 20 years. I was also told that my roof was replaced less than 10 years ago. Okay, fine and dandy. I've got 5, 10 years before I have to replace the roof. Yeah, this roof is going to end up needing replaced within the next couple of years. I also found out that the insulation in the house is extremely old, which that means I'm going to need to replace it relatively soon. The dishwasher, which I don't know why nobody caught that. And remember, I bought this house while I was living in Phoenix. The dishwasher is all rusted out, so I'm going to have to replace the dishwasher. The clothes dryer, that thing's probably older than I am. It still works okay, but it is definitely older than me. The clothes washer, that's fine. The refrigerator is still relatively new. I have two light fixtures that are either not working or partially broken. I have two light fixtures on the outside of the house that are in complete and total disrepair, and it's not even worth me trying to fix those up. Those are going to have to get replaced. The back two bedrooms of my house, and it's a three-bedroom house, they've got essentially wood planks for a ceiling. Now, I'm pretty sure when this house was built in the 50s, that might have been normal. But seriously, you telling me in the 60 plus years this house has been around, nobody's thought to update those? Now, don't get me wrong, I still like the house. I'm just getting more and more annoyed as I find more and more things that are not right. One thing that really irritates me about this house, and it's super minor, but my light sockets are all upside down. Like, and it might be me, but it was my understanding that a properly installed light socket has your two prongs and then your grounding plug on the bottom. Nope, flipped upside down, every single one in this house. The driveway has not been very well cared for, so I'm going to have to very soon decide if I want to lay down some new gravel or if I want to go ahead and put down some concrete. Now I know how to throw down a concrete driveway myself, so that shouldn't be too difficult. It's going to be very time consuming. Uh, the I have a storage building behind the house that's basically in disrepair. And initially, when I bought the house, I knew about the storage building. I was like, you know what, that would be, that'd be kind of useful. I could fix it up a little bit, turn it into like a workshop or something like that. No, no, I'm gonna probably tear that down this summer. As I was behind the house today, I was looking around thinking like, wow, like where my shed is, where I keep my chainsaw and I'm gonna keep my mower if I ever end up buying one, which I will. But the shed is not in a great place, and the way everything's laid out back is there is a lot of unnecessary space being taken up by things that I'm probably not going to use. So what I'm thinking of doing right now, and I'll have to get some quotes if I don't want to do it myself. But what I'm thinking of doing right now is tearing down the storage building behind the house. I haven't decided if I want to keep that little root cellar that's back there. It hasn't been very well maintained, so I'm not comfortable with storing food in there. Now, my well pump is there. I don't currently use the well because I have no idea if anything works. And honestly, it's just the weather's not been good enough for me to really go out and play around. So that's going to be a project for this spring. Uh, and I've talked about it probably half a dozen times now, but I had two trees that were leaning dangerously close to the house, which every tree guy that I called out here was like, why did the last homeowner let it get so bad? So this property has not been cared for, and I get 2 days a week off with the occasional week vacation if I decide I want to take one. I've got so much work ahead of me on top of what I'm already wanting to do because I want to have a chicken coop. I do really like the idea of having fresh eggs, having some meat chickens on the property. I got to check with my neighbors. Now I do live in an unincorporated area, so the the local zoning laws, local ordinances, nothing forbids me from having chickens. That's why I decided to move out to the country. So I want to build a chicken coop, but I don't really have an optimal spot on the property for it. Because what I want is I want to have the chicken coop up near the house so I can have easy access to it. But the problem is all the easy access space up near the house is kind of in use. Like I said, I got the cellar, and then I got my storage building. Then I got my shed and what looks like a little like covered wood storage area. I don't know. Uh, So I'm thinking of demolishing all of that back there and building fresh things, just so I can get some more use out of that area. Because that is several hundred square feet that I could potentially reclaim, and it's behind the house, and I'm gonna have to clear the hill behind the house off a little bit, at least up to where it runs into the fence of my neighbor's property. I'm gonna need to clear that off and see what kind of sunlight I get back there during the summer. But as it stands right now, it's not going to be really an optimal place for growing food. So, like I said, I'm thinking of demoing all those structures back there and just building one relatively large shed and using the rest of the area as um, probably a little chicken run. Like, I got more than enough space. Um, I haven't decided what I want to do with my front yard yet. I'm definitely open for suggestions. My front yard is the majority of the property. I'd say that's probably 2/3 of an acre, just my front yard. And I'd say about half of that is sloped, but honestly, that's not super inconvenient. I know for a fact I don't have a lot of, well, I don't know that for a fact. I'd have to get somebody out here to look. But based on where my water and my gas meters are, I don't think I have any pipes running in my front yard. So what I was thinking of doing come this summer is kind of doing, oh, what's it called? Like a tiered garden almost, where I'll build out, I'll flatten out little areas, throw a garden plot, go down a little bit, flatten another space, and then do almost like a rice paddy looking thing. I mentioned that in one of my first videos. So I haven't, I really haven't decided there. Um, my porch is in really good shape. That was a very, very good thing. That made me happy. And then one thing that absolutely has to happen this summer is the ground. It comes right up to the siding. Now, based on the way the house was built, I very highly doubt that it was built that level with the ground. I'm guessing that as the years have gone by and dirt has washed downhill, it's just piled up next to the house and it's come up next to the siding. So I'm gonna go out there this summer. I don't want to do it right now during the winter just because I would like the ground to be a little bit drier than it is before I start playing. Because then, again, a little bit of soil erosion. But I'm gonna go dig it probably about 6 to 8 inches down just to give me a little bit extra protection from household pests that can get in. Not only that, I'm really thinking that it would look very nice if I could lay down like a like a brick walkway back there. I think that would look really nice. Build a brick walkway up to my sheds or, whatever. But at this point, guys, I'm just spitballing. There's so much that I've gotten done. There's so much that still needs to be done. So I'm gonna go ahead and call it for the night. I'm tired. I'm gonna take my dog out for his nightly constitutional and probably call it an early night. Maybe go out tomorrow if I get up early enough to get some more work done. But in the meantime, guys, do me a favor, hit the like button, hit subscribe, hit the bell for notifications. I am not going anywhere anytime soon. I am really enjoying the projects I'm taking on around the house. So subscribe, come with me through my journey, and a year from now, we'll see what all has been done. In the meantime, guys, have a good night.